Today, we are diving deep, and I mean deep, into the mind to solve a really fascinating mystery. It's one that connects our dreams, our thoughts, and even the very fabric of our culture. So let me ask you something right off the bat. Can a dream tell a lie? I mean, really think about that. In that wild, symbolic world you visit every single night, is deception even possible? It feels like a philosophical question, right? But the answer is actually incredibly concrete. That's right. It's impossible. Neuroscience tells us that dreams absolutely cannot lie. Now, they can twist reality, sure. They can be completely bizarre, confusing, but they cannot actively deceive you. And stick with me because by the end of this, you are going to understand exactly why. So, to figure out why dreams are so honest, we first have to understand how we can be dishonest when we're awake. And it all starts with a simple fact. Your brain has two very different ways of expressing itself. Just look at this. On one hand, you have your thoughts. Think of them like a massive, wide river. All these memories, feelings, and random ideas just flowing all at once. But your speech? That's totally different. It's like a narrow, highly controlled jet of water, carefully selected from that huge river and aimed at a specific target. So how does your brain turn that giant river into a tiny, focused jet? Well, it uses a mechanism called attentional gating. Basically, your prefrontal cortex, the CEO of your brain, acts as a gatekeeper. It's constantly deciding which thoughts to suppress and which ones to let through into speech. And that is where lying becomes possible. It's the gap between everything you could say and what you actually say. All right, let's move on to clue number 2. It turns out our brains are fundamentally lazy, but in a really smart, efficient way. They are built to save energy by using shortcuts, and these shortcuts, or clichés, are a huge piece of this puzzle. This quote really nails it. You see, a cliché isn't just a boring phrase. It's a pre-built, low-energy pathway in your brain. You know, having a totally new original thought is like hacking a new path through a dense jungle. It takes a ton of work. Using a cliché, that's like hopping on a 6-lane highway. It's just so much easier. And we all have them. Just think about your personal clichés, your go-to excuses when you don't want to do something, the same emotional loops you get stuck in, the phrases you repeat without even thinking. These are your brain's personal superhighways, saving you a little bit of computational energy every single day. But it doesn't stop with us. This same energy-saving idea scales up to a massive level. Things like cultural norms, shared myths, political slogans. These are just society's clichés. They're stable, low-energy patterns that hold a group together by making our thoughts and behaviors more predictable. And this brings us to our third and final clue, which connects those big societal clichés to an even bigger idea. The idea that culture itself is a kind of memory system. There's a really powerful analogy here. Think of culture as society's long-term memory. It's stable, it's loaded with emotion, and man, does it resist change. New ideas and all those generational shifts, that's like short-term memory. It's innovative, it causes a little bit of chaos, and it's always trying to update that stubborn long-term cultural record. Okay, we've got our clues. We have the gatekeeper between thought and speech. We have the brain's love for energy-saving clichés, and we have culture acting as a kind of memory. It's time to put it all together and solve this thing. Here's the deal. Telling a lie is actually an incredibly difficult job for your brain. It takes a ton of cognitive horsepower. You need executive control, you need to intentionally suppress the truth, you have to monitor social cues, the list goes on. But here's the kicker. During REM sleep, when you're dreaming, all the parts of the brain responsible for those jobs are either turned way down or are completely offline. And that's the answer. That gatekeeper in your prefrontal cortex, he's asleep on the job. Without the machinery to filter, to suppress, to construct a whole alternate story, your dreaming mind can only express its raw, uncensored truth. It might be weird, it might be symbolic, but it's always, always honest. Now, this idea that dreams are pure, unfiltered expression points to something even more profound. It hints at a huge connection between, well, everything, from our biology all the way up to our philosophy. So, what if thought, language, art, and even entire cultures aren't actually separate things?
What if they're all just different points on a single, unbroken spectrum of expression, evolving from the super simple to the incredibly complex?
This just lays it out so perfectly. It all starts with the most basic biological signals in your body. And then, dreams emerge. They are the crucial bridge, translating those raw signals into emotional, symbolic truth. And from there, we build everything else, our inner thoughts, our spoken language, and eventually these super abstract systems like logic and mathematics. I mean, this quote just sums it all up. Consciousness, culture, language, they're all just different slices of the same cake. And dreams? Dreams are the purest, most direct slice of that continuum we can ever get. A window into the mind's machinery before all the filters get turned on.
So, I'll leave you with this. The next time you wake up from a really vivid or strange dream, don't just brush it off. Ask yourself, if this dream literally could not lie to me, what truth was it trying to show me? The answer might just blow your mind.